Lui Caliber, a once humongous Grand Theft Auto 5 YouTuber who has since found himself enveloped in a spot of bother. As some of you may recall, a few months ago I made a video on Lui Caliber, and in that video I spoke about some pretty crazy information coming out against him at the time. What if I was to tell you that all of that information, it was merely the beginning? The whole Lui Caliber situation, that small ember, it's become an inferno. I do want to say two things before we get into this video. Firstly, in this video, I'm not going to be reading this new document page for page, word for word. See this video as more of an in-depth summary. If you want to read the entire new document though, I will have it linked in the description. Secondly, however concrete or damning this new information sounds, this is only one side of the Lui Caliber situation. Lui Caliber, he's yet to say anything about this stuff, so please take everything you hear in this video or read in the document with a grain of salt. Before we get into this video though, I do just want to say that if you enjoy it, please be sure to leave a like, and if you want to see some more from me, be sure to subscribe. If you want to join a community of people who watch my videos, be sure to follow me on Twitter and join my Discord. If you want to see me play some video games, or if you just want to go have a look at some memes, be sure to have a look at my Twitch channel and my second channel. And if you're really feeling generous, become a member, like these wonderful individuals. Considering that I did make a video on Lui a few months ago, I am going to be keeping this section somewhat brief, so if you want to find out more information about the original situation, be sure to go have a look at that video. A few months ago, a girl named Syanne, an apparent ex-girlfriend of Lui Caliber, came out with quite a damning statement against Lui. She stated that when she was 18, she entered into a secret relationship with the then 30-year-old Lui Caliber. Keeping a long story very short, this relationship was, according to Syanne, incredibly toxic. Lui was apparently incredibly manipulative and would do anything to get what he wanted. All in all then, this information made Lui out to be quite a bad guy. Though, as I said in the intro, this new document, it's added quite a bit more fuel to the Lui Caliber fire. Mainly because this document, it's a sequel to the original document. Before we get into the nitty-gritty of this new document, we have to establish why it was made, when it was made, and who made it. This new document, published on the 14th of May, was made by the same person who made the original document, Syanne. According to the introductory section of this document, Syanne outlines that she's making this document because, firstly, Lui's friends have been apparently downplaying this entire situation behind the scenes, and secondly, Lui was planning a potential comeback to YouTube quite soon. Syanne makes it explicitly clear that the purpose of these documents isn't one of self-benefit. She's making them because she wants to raise awareness towards Lui's apparent disgusting behavior. She, along with many others, doesn't want Lui Caliber to return to the internet. It is also stated that 8 more girls have since spoken to Syanne about their own experiences with Lui, apparent evidence of which, and lots of it, is provided in the document too. According to this new document, when Lui was 32 years old, he apparently sent pictures, if you get what I mean, to a 16-year-old girl. According to this story, Lui was well aware of this girl's age too, making this whole thing quite a bit worse. In order to validate these absolutely mental claims, a blurred out picture of the girl's ID has been provided. And if we have a look at the date of birth, we can see that the year is 1999. According to this document, this event took place in 2015, meaning that if the girl was 16 at the time, the age does correlate. In order to validate this information even further though, the girl in question has provided quite a few screenshots of apparent conversations between her and Lui, in which you can see Lui talking in not a very family-friendly way in quite a few occasions. Some apparent tweets of Lui interacting with minors have also been provided too, though the main point of this section is to highlight the conversations between him and the 16-year-old over Snapchat, which, if true, is disgusting to say the least. In this section of the document, some apparent audio recordings of Louis's disgusting behavior are provided. These recordings, which I will be playing in a brief moment, outline Louis admitting to screenshotting the pictures, in quotation marks, he was receiving from girls without their consent, which he would then apparently share with his friends. In one of the recordings, you can also hear him apparently making fun of people who have been subjected to the G word in the past, making reference to situations like the whole mini-lad stuff. There is one more audio recording which is basically a curse-filled rant which apparently outlines how Louis would treat women, though I won't be playing that recording mainly because I would have to censor every second word, meaning that the recording would be 30 seconds of silence. So if you want to go and have a listen to that recording, and if you want to see subtitled versions of the audio recordings I'm about to play you, be sure to have a look at the new document.
Because, I fucking, to this day, just kind of indulge, what are you going to say? What are you going to say? That's all I want, is what are you going to say? What are you going to say? I'm bored, I'm not trying to get naked with someone, I'm just, what are you going to say? What are you going to say? What are you going to do? Celebrities should not date their fans or people on the internet. Who the fuck says that? So stupid. You're putting rules on shit now. Every on websites and stuff. Yeah, all I would do is just pull from our Discord or our group Skype and stuff like that, and just download whatever they do a post. I was joking because I told you once. I was my friends all get the better girls, blah blah. I was yeah, theirs are so much better and stuff like that. And that's when I started showing you. Look at it. I wish I got these. I wish I got their news. Look at this. They're so artistic and blah, blah, blah. I wish in general I got news sent to me, of people being this dedicated and devoted, to Delirious and all them. I remember I had to argue with that bitch about it. But who said you could screenshot my news? So I didn't give permission to screenshot it. I'm trying to get kind of crazy. Not all me too kind of thing, but she got all super serious. I don't appreciate that you did that and blah, blah, blah. I said, well, you asked you to send it and stuff like that. But I didn't let you, blah, blah, blah. And I was you kind of do, and I was being honest, you do when you send them. You waive that right as soon as you send it to them. Because the intended person, when you send it to me, I'm intended to receive it. So if you gave it to me, I can do what I please with it. You know what I mean? She had tweeted out, I can't believe, I'm the only one who does anything around this house. It must be nice to just go to your room and play, with your friends and just do things. Well, I have to be the baby's mom, feed the baby, give the baby a bath. No one wants to do things for me. She was just saying a bunch of shit. And now if you go on Delirious' Twitter, he's just been saying how much he loves her and loves her and loves her. Same thing with Nobu's girlfriend. How much they worship their baby's mamas. Dude, I feel like they're taking control of everything. Because they're fucking lame. They didn't listen to me. Everyone made the same mistake I did. And they're acting like they're happy and stuff. I hate that Nobu's preaching, but he's so hypocritical. He talks about God and everything, but yeah, he talks shit. And he talks about how he loves his baby mom or how she's always there for him or whatever. And then I know my friends. Hey Louie, what's up? Why can't we go back to your place? Well, I don't kind of really fully trust you unless you sign this NDA. This is kind of weird and extra, dude. I just kind of want to fuck or just hang out, but this is so extra. It's weird. It chases people off. I'm not gonna do that. I don't want people to be. I didn't change how I was. I still meet people the same way. So I just feel it's fucking weird that I have to do things different. Just because people don't know how to fucking behave or just act right. Or they do weird ass shit. Honestly, look at. Do you really think you've seen this James Charles stuff that's happening around, right? Okay, do you think these fucking kids are sad? Like, do you think they're sad? Oh, James Charles doesn't want to talk to me. He hurt me and sent me pictures. Do you think they're sad? They're more like, oh, we got him, stupid ass, right? I feel like they're more like that. But, like, people are just stupid. And then the people that, like, you know, since James Charles is successful, like, oh my gosh, like, I get it. James Charles f***ed up. I'm not saying what he did was okay. But what I'm also saying on the other side is I don't think these fucking kids need trauma therapy or something like that. They're just stupid. Like, the people that got mad at Minilad, I get it. Like, you know, they're kind of like, he broke the law, he broke the law. Like, it's like fucking like Malfoy, like, telling on, like, Harry Potter and them for sneaking out of the class. Like, yeah, I got him. But at the same time, it's like, they don't really give a shit. They just like bringing misery.
This document provides 4 new stories that add to the Lui Caliber situation tenfold. 3 out of the 4 girls in question have elected to remain anonymous, hence the use of the term Jane Doe, though one of the girls is apparently known as Kilobyte. Sorry if I got the pronunciation of that name wrong, by the way. In the first story, Jane Doe number 1, who apparently started dating Louis in 2016, while Louis was still seeing Syanne, declares that her relationship with Louis was, as per the apparent norm, incredibly toxic. In their relationship, Louis would apparently send this girl the pictures he received from other women to her in order to trigger her for whatever reason. He would apparently do this every single time our Jane Doe did something that Louis didn't like. Louis was also apparently incredibly manipulative throughout this relationship too. He would apparently call this girl names, belittle her, and quite a bit more. Jane Doe number 1 has also provided apparent screenshots of the conversations she would have with Louis, and if we go through them, we can see that Louis was acting in an absolutely abhorrent fashion. Moving on to Kilobyte's story, she apparently got into a relationship with Louis when she was 19 and he was 31. Once again, the points of gaslighting and manipulation are brought up quite a bit. Common themes throughout the Lui Caliber situation. This story highlights some of the terrible things Louis has apparently done to this girl, and to quote a few lines from this document, I always had an issue with things that he did or ways he behaved, but Louis's entire being is manipulation. I was already in a bad place at the time I met him. During our very first phone call, he told me that he loves broken girls. I wish I was wiser back then, but that's why he goes for younger girls. Everyone is being manipulated by him. He can be funny, witty, whatever, but he is still a greedy, terrible, genuinely bad person. Jane Doe number 2's story highlights, once again, manipulation and disgusting behavior. This girl outlines that when she got into phone calls with Louis, they lasted for hours with him being the main person talking, because it almost seemed like she needed his permission to talk. He would brag about his wealth and fame and intellect, and just like previous stories, this girl would also receive pictures of other girls. Not only that, but Louis was also apparently incredibly demanding when it came to getting pictures of her too, declaring that if she didn't send him any photos, he would expose her. Jane Doe number 2 outlines that when their relationship ended is when things went from bad to worse. Louis apparently stated that he was going to get his lawyers involved and put it all over social media for the world to see, once again playing into previous provided accounts. Jane Doe number 3 has provided screenshots of her apparent final conversation with Lui Caliber. According to this story, Louis took screenshots of every single thing she has ever sent him and then he blocked her. This whole blocking people thing is something that he apparently liked to do a lot in order to manipulate them for whatever reason. He would also apparently do really bad things to Jane Doe number 3, details of which aren't provided, though I reckon it means the whole manipulation stuff. After which, he would apparently call her to make sure that she was crying. Keep in mind that these stories are just testimony from one side of the Lui Caliber situation, though if these stories are true, it highlights how bad of No, that's an understatement. How terrible of a person Lui Caliber is. If these stories are true, then the level of him being an incredibly toxic, manipulative person, it's so much bigger than any of us could have ever imagined. As I stated in the intro, this video is a summary and not a word-for-word retelling. Based off of this fact, I really recommend that you look into this document. If these accounts are true, Lui Caliber shouldn't be allowed to return, and some could argue that he's even worse than Mini Lad. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about this entire thing though. If you want to add your opinion to this situation, be sure to leave a comment telling me what you think. Once again, this situation is incredibly mental, but if you made it this far into the video, thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.